What are the expectations for tomorrow? And this time we get to see it all happen on camera.
That's true, because those cameras will be allowed inside the courtroom. You know, some legal analysts believe that if Jussie Smollett is sentenced in this, he could get 1 to 3 years behind bars. Some also believe that the judge could decide to hit him with a fine. But one thing we have to point out tonight are these letters that have been submitted on Jussie Smollett's behalf. A lot of notable people writing letters pleading for the judge to go lenient on Jussie Smollett. One of those people, well-known actor Samuel L. Jackson, and his wife wrote a letter talking about Jussie's volunteer work. And let's take a look at some of the other letters that were written on behalf of Jussie Smollett to Associate Judge James Lynn, including Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. from the Rainbow Push Coalition, the director of Black Lives Matter, and the president of the NAACP. They're asking the judge to consider probation or an alternative to prison. Some even noted fear for Jussie Smollett being in prison as a black homosexual male. The letters pointed to discrepancies with how blacks are treated in the justice system and pointed to Smollett's humanitarian work.
The NAACP wrote to the judge in the case, Judge Lynn, asking for leniency. We recognize that Jussie Smollett is a member of our community. He is privileged, but that makes him no less subject to the victimization that happens to all people of color within the society, particularly African Americans. And so we've asked the judge to take that into consideration and perhaps come up with a resolve to this.
I don't think judges give a lot of weight to these letters.
And you just heard from Chicago legal analyst there, Larry Yellen, talking about those letters and saying that the judge often does not give weight to those letters at all. We do know Jussie Smollett was hit with 5 counts of disorderly conduct. Of course, we'll see exactly what unfolds inside that courtroom come tomorrow. Live in Chicago for you tonight, I'm Tia Ewing. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, Tia, a couple questions for you to follow up, because we've been tracking this case here through every single step of the way. Describe a little bit more of what the environment is going to look like tomorrow with all of this focus. Are there protests expected to be outside of the courtroom? What can we expect going into tomorrow?
I think what you're going to expect is a swarm of media at that courtroom. You know, this has gone on for quite some time here in the city of Chicago, and you can't negate the fact that there is still possibly a monetary penalty out there for Jussie Smollett. You know, it took time for Chicago police to investigate this alleged hoax that Jussie Smollett created himself. And so that amount is $130,000. You know, the legal analyst that I spoke with said that if this judge decides to hit Jussie Smollett with that fine, maybe that part of his case will go away. But as of right now, we're expecting a lot of media to be there. Obviously, Jussie Smollett and usually his team will be there. And haven't really heard too much about protests outside of the courtroom, but that is not outside the realm of possibility, that's for sure.
And as you said, he faces a maximum sentence of 3 years in prison for each of those 5 felony conviction counts. But there is a possibility of just probation, isn't there?
There is a possibility of probation, a real possibility here. You know, will those letters matter? You know, that's what it comes down to. Will the judge take into account that Jussie Smollett was lying to begin with? Will that matter? The amount of money and time that was spent to investigate, how will that weigh? You know, this judge is typically very fair, so we will see what happens. This judge has been within the Cook County court system for quite some time, so it will be really interesting to see what takes place. Of course, we know Jussie Smollett and his legal team, they feel like he didn't get a fair trial from the very start. They felt like the judge was a little distracted and maybe not in the name of fairness for Jussie Smollett. So it will be very interesting to see what happens inside the courtroom and what the Smollett's legal team will do in response to what happens tomorrow.
Right, keywords there, inside of the courtroom. 3 years versus 0 in prison there. We'll be keeping our eyes open for all of those developments. Again, Fox 32's Tia Ewing, thank you so much.
You got it anytime. Thank you for having me.